He'll start third. He didn't make the 500. 4 guys in the top 10 qualifiers today as you take
week long. Man, they're running awful hard for this early in the race.
The 4th car there, Jeff Gordon, you can see he's really dialed in well on the bottom part of the racetrack, but he's got company. Jeremy Mayfield has been the talk of the town for the past 2 weeks.
Sure.
As well he should be. He went into 19.
There's Jeff Gordon in the 24. Johnny Benson just went by him, so they're swapping around a bit. Benson now in 4th, Gordon in 5th. Johnny Benson, another of those who missed the Daytona 500 a weekend ago.
Coming up out of the corner there, very smooth. That's Jeff Gordon just behind him. John Andretti in the 3rd car back there.
So Mark Martin with that move grabs 5th with Gordon back into the 6th spot. You know, you talk about new teams. I think one of the classic stories was Steve Park, the Ray Bettis Rookie of the Year candidate this year down at Daytona. They were in the process of moving into their new shop. They didn't get that done. I was talking to Felipe Lopez, the crew chief down in Daytona, and they were literally unwrapping the tools. I mean, they had their pit tools still in the plastic bags the way they were shipped from the manufacturer. And, you know, that is a new team.
4 there has been on a constant run towards the front. You see Jeff Gordon there dropping back.
Jeff Gordon now in 9th.
Jeff Gordon now pits.
He's in at lap 66 as you see Rick Mast running in 2nd on your screen. Jeff Gordon into the attention of Ray Evernham and the crew. Matt Yoakum.
45 miles per hour down the road. You're going to see most everybody take on 4 tires on this first pit stop. Tire wear is so great here at Rockingham. Mike Trower going to work on the right rear, already around to the left side. Jeff said the car is way loose, guys. Let's tighten this up. They're going to make some adjustments with air pressure. The fuel already in. Jeff Gordon's down and away. Glenn?
Well, Matt, over the backstretch right now, Jerry, their car is on.
There's Jeff Gordon there, right there now, with Rick Mast directly ahead of him. Of course, Mast hasn't stopped yet.
You see the difference right there. Jeff Gordon in 24 with 4 fresh tires. Right now, Ricky Rudd's in the way, but Jeff Gordon much quicker than the 2nd place car with the 4 brand new tires. See in the corner there, he pulls about 4 car lengths just getting in there.
Comparison, Joe Nemechek, 148 miles an hour on his last lap. Johnny Benson, 140. We're talking 8 miles an hour difference from the new tires to the old tires. But again, before long, the new will become old, and it'll all even out again.
That's Johnny Benson there in the 26, and Jeff Gordon in the 24 just behind him. You can see no problem whatsoever to just pull up on a car that passed him not long ago.
Well, Dick, I was talking to Ray Evernham. He told me on that last pit stop, their car was so loose it had wore out the right rear tire because Jeff had heated it up so much. They were thinking about coming in on the last caution, but decided not to give up track position. He's cautioning Jeff, hey, look, just take it easy on this set of tires. There's about 300 laps left to go, so we're not going to win it on lap 93.
Pit strategy and patience, very much a name of the game. See Schrader in the 33 just at the head of that pack. Remember that Kenny right now being shown a lap. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, has backslid all the way to 17th. Let's follow here as everybody comes by, and more guys come by, and more guys come by, and Jeff Gordon still backsliding now to 18th. Matt, what are you hearing?
Eli, Jeff Gordon said, it's loose, it's loose, it's loose. I can't run low, I can't run high. I'm just hanging on right now, hopefully going to our next pit stop. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Ricky Rudd is sitting in the garage here. He finished 42nd at Daytona. A rough start to the season. Just spoke to Bill Engel, the new general manager on this team. He says they believe they have a broken rocker arm. They're going to try and get Ricky back out on the racetrack.
We have well documented Jeff Gordon's run here in Rockingham today. He was trying to hold on to the top 10, fighting a loose race car. When he came in for that last pit stop, he took on 4 tires. They also added a spring rubber, hoping that may be an answer to his problems today. He's now 28. Steve?
Well, Matt,
he was battling Dale Earnhardt moments ago and won the battle for 20.
That was Derek Cope in the 30 there on the inside, the black car. Jeff Gordon got his hands full today. I'm telling you, he's back here in the pack. He and Terry Labonte both are struggling right now.
In a car called Buckhead, and they may be wondering about choice of cars.
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't know if I wanted to step into the middle of that. I'll tell you, the rookies, though, having a pretty interesting day today. It's a lot to learn, Matt Yoakum. Far different running here than running at Daytona.
Eli definitely so. It's 393 laps.
Down.
Jeff Gordon's in. You see that ratchet wrench going in, guys. An adjustment being made, Matt.
Eli, they're also going to take a rubber out of the right rear. 4-tire stop for Jeff Gordon. The rubber they put into the spring did not seem to help, so they're going to take that out, and he's down.
So, caution. You know, it's beginning to move again, guys. As you see the front two, Martin on the left and Wallace on the right, is Jeff Gordon. He's beginning to climb up now. He's in the top 10.
Only Chevrolet to make it there, but you just knew that those guys were going to get the thing done and get that car dialed in as they managed to work on it all day long. Here's Gordon on the high side, Schrader on the bottom. As Gordon picks off another one, Schrader down laps. Gordon's still in the lead lap.
Now Schrader's a couple of laps down, being shown in 34th right now.
While we watch, so look to him to be a factor.
We saw the Texaco Haviland points as they run. Texaco World of Energy sponsoring our telecast here on TNN in 1998. Great to have them back on board. And Gordon ahead of Jeremy Mayfield, 9th and 10th on the screen. Then Schrader being shown back in 34th position. Top Pontiac, still John Andretti in 12th. Meanwhile, closer to the front, 23, the red and white machine for Jimmy Spencer. The 75, the pole sitter, Rick Mash. The 94, Bill Elliott. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. 200 on the tachometer. If you go quicker than that on the numbers, you're speeding down pit road.
Yes, and that's a lap penalty. Nobody wants to play that. You can see the raw fuel there, unburned fuel in the 94 car. What that is, when you back off, it fills that exhaust pipe. This is as close as driving that car. That's a great shot.
Glenn Jarrett just made a very valid point that we want to make sure we make note of, and that is when the guys on the backstretch pit under green flag conditions, they are at no disadvantage when compared to the guys who pit on the front stretch. It is only under caution flag conditions. And even today, NASCAR is trying to help that out. They're speeding the caution car up to try to get the cars to go a little bit faster between the
50. Haven't one time in their career driven for Judy Donlevy. 13 of the 50.
I tell you what, I wouldn't give anything for the experience. What a nice guy. I come back after I was injured in 1988 to go for Judy Donlevy. Probably as much fun as I ever had. Look at Jeff Gordon down under Jimmy Spencer here.
That's 4th place.
He finally got his car dialed in. He's been very, very much a factor for the last little bit, and the car is able to run a little bit lower than these other cars. If you remember, he won the race here last year by being able to run the middle part of the racetrack when everybody else was trying to run the bottom and the very top.
3 top 10 finishes here in the last 6 races. 2 wins and a 4th place finish for Jeff Gordon. This time by will be at halfway. They'll be halfway home for Mark Martin the next time they come to the stripe. A bit of an overcast day. Kenny Irwin will make
the 24 car coming down pit road. The Rainbow Warriors going to make some service on Jeff Gordon, a 4-tire stop. As you recall, they've been battling a loose condition all day long in the Rainbow Warriors pit. Ray Evernham has tried just about everything. They're now on the right side. Mike Trower and company. They've tried spring rubbers, wedge adjustments, track bar adjustments. Nothing really has seemed to work. Now they're back over on the left side now. The captain, Mike Belden, in with a second can of gas. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett, who's on the backstretch.
Head back, and this will also be a 4-tire stop for Bobby Hamilton as well. Hamilton has had one of the fastest cars on the backstretch, but he's starting to backpedal that Chevrolet. Here's Steve.
And Sean Parker was hurt in that near accident between Mark Martin.
There's a guy, if you're just joining us, who was languishing middle of the field earlier in the day, has now worked himself up with the help from Robin Pemberton and the boys, getting the car just right, and he's now leading the race here at Rockingham. That's a good move for Jeff Gordon. He's been up to the front, he's been back, he's been to the front again, and here he is battling with Dick Trickle. Trickle is just ahead of him in the 90, and that's 4th position. That's for 6th spot on your screen.
I talked to Trickle this morning. First thing he told me, he said, you know, we've had a horrible week here. We qualified fairly good. We had one good lap out of the whole week. He said, we put the car exactly like it was last race, and he said, if it works, it works. If it don't, we'll go the rear. You see, it's working pretty well.
You want to see some experience? The guy that owns that number 90 car, Junie Dunleavy, we were talking about a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Today is his 745th Winston Cup start. Trickle, it's his 254th Winston Cup start. Trickle's in his 40th year. Junie, his 49th year.
Remarkable, isn't it?
It really is.
2 better champions you won't find. And here goes Jeff Gordon again. That's 4th position. He won 6th from Dick Trickle.
The way Trickle's fighting him back, he might be Trickle's age before he gets by him.
Well, I don't know. Looks like he's got him, buddy.
He put a slide job on him there, coming out of the corner.
Why don't we check out the Wrangler mid-race report brought to you by Wrangler Cowboy Cut Jeans. 3 cautions. Lap 77 for Robert Presley. Lap 107 for David Green. Lap 127, Darrell Waltrip. Because of problems that Greg Sachs had at the time, putting some oil down the racetrack. Average speed having been slowed just a bit, and those in the garage area. Ricky Rudd, Green, and...
Been checking times back here, and right now, Johnny Benson and Jeff Gordon and Jeremy Mayfield are the quickest cars on the racetrack.
On TNN Motorsports. Welcome back, everybody, with Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum, and Steve Burns. I'm Eli Gold. Rusty Wallace, the race leader, has led the last 45 laps. But that man in the middle of your screen, Jeff Gordon, is on the stopwatch, the quickest car on the racetrack right now.
Unbelievable how he's picked it up. He has moved himself right into contention now in the 3rd spot. Jeff Gordon, without a doubt, is much quicker than anyone else on the racetrack.
And the stories we talked about earlier, that's how they're being updated with Johnny Benson there. Pontiac dominating normally. Well, now Ernie Irvin, the best Pontiac of the lot. He is running in. All of these guys, though, 2 miles an hour slower than Jeff Gordon. Gordon continues as the quickest car on the racetrack right now. Meanwhile, there is the good battle for 2nd spot that evaporated as soon as Jeff Gordon got to Mark Martin. That's how quickly Gordon is running now in the 24.
Took that car right into 2nd place without any trouble. Mark Martin realizes right now that his tires are going away a little bit. He's hanging on until the pit stop.
These guys, though, are 1 9/10 seconds behind the race leader, Rusty Wallace. Lap 265. Jeff Gordon is running in the 2nd spot, and pit stops have begun for many of the race teams. Over the last few moments, after rubbing the wall, Chad Little came in for a stop, but we had no caution. He just bounced off the wall and kept on going. We have seen Kenny Irwin in, Bobby Labonte has been in, Kyle Petty, Hunt Strickland.
Problems today, struggling. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
And that Ted Musgrave is in, and as we talked about earlier, this is teamwork. Musgrave getting in so that Mark Martin and Johnny Benson can have an unobstructed shot onto their pit lane. So Ted Musgrave in, and we're awaiting Johnny Benson and Mark Martin momentarily.
Martin and Benson are 3rd and 4th. Musgrave in 25th position. Here comes Dick Trickle. He'll slow just a bit, so does Jeff Burton now begin to make himself known on the pit lane. Burton will come in at lap 268.
Eli, this is incredible. Jeff Gordon has figured out something, he and Ray Evernham, to get this car handling. He was completely out of the race. Now he's running Rusty Wallace down. He's only 2 car lengths back.
And Dale Earnhardt is in. Glenn?
Yes, he is. Eli Earnhardt has come in. I was just looking at the scoreboard at lap 268. This is way earlier than I thought that Earnhardt would pit. Also back here is Bobby Hamilton. He's in the pit 4 times for Earnhardt. Chassis adjustment by air pressure. I'm watching Hamilton, same thing. Hamilton is down and away, and here goes Earnhardt. Wow, about 22.5 seconds for Earnhardt.
Those stops again taking place under green, which negates the disadvantage that those teams on the back straightaway would have. And here again, with Rusty Wallace being challenged, Jeff Gordon grabs the lead as they go through the corner and come back to the stripe. That quickly, it all changes. As we've told you, Gordon has been consistently the fastest car on the racetrack. The lead swaps at lap 270.
You can see the cars that's been in the pit, so they're much, much quicker right now than the cars that are out there hanging on like the 24 car Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace.
Let's go back to Glenn Jarrett.
And Dale Jarrett has brought the Ford credit forward in another pit stop, 4 tires down and away. Wow, 18.2 seconds for Jarrett. Also, we might want to tell you that Earnhardt's car is running a little bit hot. Here's Matt.
The leaders on pit road. Rusty Wallace will be first to his box, going to work with Bill Wilburn and Mark Hollywood Armstrong, while Jeff Gordon hits his marks. Mike Trower going to work on the right rear of Gordon. The left side, also on the left side of Gordon's car. The captain, Mike Belden, for the 24 car with the second can of fuel. He's in. The 24 car's down in the way, and he will beat the 2-car off pit road.
And caution is on the speedway in the middle of the pit stops.
Well, down here in the Rainbow Warriors pits, I just talked to Ray Evernham. He says this is kind of deja vu to last year. If you recall, the 88 car Dale Jarrett dominated. They worked all day on the handling of the Rainbow Warriors number 24 DuPont Chevy, got it up to the front in the late stages, and took home the victory. That's the game plan today. They worked on their cars a little bit tight, so they worked on it with air pressure on the last pit stop. Ray says the car is A-OK, and they should have something for the 2-car, they believe. Eli?
The score, Rusty Wallace, the number 2. He is the race leader. The others ahead of him are on the tail end of the lead lap. There's Wallace, the leader in the 2. Jeff Gordon, the 24. That rainbow-colored car is second. Rick Mast in the 75 is third. Jeff Bodine.
Now the racetrack, you see your lead cars up there. Rusty Wallace now trying to get by Terry Labonte.
Terry in the 5 is one of those drivers trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. So is the 30 for Derek Cope. He's to the inside of the 2 of Rusty Wallace.
Rusty all boxed in there. The race leader, no place to go. Traffic all around him.
They're at lap 287 of 393.
See Jeff Gordon in the 24 there as they head down into turn 1. Now what he can use right now is that Rusty go up there, get everybody aware. They're giving these guys a look at the lead car as he comes up through there. Jeff Gordon can take his time and just kind of follow Rusty through there. And now to be, oh, he's quick though. Look at him come on the bottom side here.
Derek Cope opened the inside, not wanting to go a lap down, and Jeff Gordon takes the lead. Jeff Gordon uses Derek Cope as the pick and takes the lead on the low side of the racetrack here at lap 289.
Jeff Bodine got by, too. Bodine has just taken second spot in that blue and white number 7 car.
So Jeff Gordon now showing the way. Derek Cope did go a lap down in that exchange in the 18th position.
Maybe around 40 laps into this run to make it a 40 to 45 lap run to the finish.
That, of course, is barring a caution flag. If you're just joining us, we have had 4 caution periods today. Lap 77, 107, 127, and then lap 274. And the leader is the 24, Jeff Gordon. Ahead of him, the 11, Brett Bodine. He's already 2 laps down. Then ahead of that white car, that red and orange machine, Terry Labonte, he is on the tail end of the lead lap and trying to stay there.
If you look really carefully at Jeff Gordon's car in that tight shot, you saw he's got a pretty good sized dent in the left rear fender. That would have hurt him at Daytona last week, but it won't hurt him here at all. You see that fender sort of tucked up underneath there. He's contacted somebody.
The good part about that damage has been done for about 100 laps right now. I noticed it earlier in the race, so it's not a problem for him.
And across the top of the screen, back to position number 17 on that run. Morris coming your way. And now here's Jeff Gordon trying to put Earnhardt a lap down. Dale is in 16th position. You see the 5, Terry Labonte, has already been lapped by his corporate teammate.
I'm sure Earnhardt will just move over and let him
sure
go.
He will. Oh, boy. Earnhardt struggled so hard to stay in the lead lap today. He has to feel very frustrated with the turn of events there that got him on the tail end of the lead lap on a restart like this.
There's Jeff Bodine running in second spot. Interestingly, having trouble now has finally gotten around his brother, Brett Bodine, in the 11. They were running nose to tail there, and it took Jeff a while to get around him.
Meanwhile, give him a little shot.
Wait a minute.
And that will allow Terry Labonte to get back on the tail end of the lead lap for the outside. Earnhardt stays there, and here comes Jeff Bodine in the 7th. He wants to lead here at Rockingham. A Chevy against the Ford.
Did Gordon just Earnhardt?
Yeah.
I think he did.
I'll tell you, the winner there, though, was Earnhardt. Right now, Jeff Gordon's got a very, very fast race car. He needs to regroup here and get himself back on track.
The new leader is Jeff Bodine. If he can hang on and get back to the stripe by inches, Jeff Bodine leads lap 299.
And here's Rusty right in the thick of it, too. Oh, man, this is good.
Well, Gordon's down there where he can't touch the throttle right now to come off the corner wide. Oh, you see this? He moved right over there and made a little contact with Rusty Wallace coming out of turn 2.
Getting physical. This with 100 to go.
Bodine, Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Jeremy Mayfield. There's a good battle for second spot. There's the spread from first back to second. Wallace in the 2. Gordon. What a scramble there for position. Rusty Wallace. Gordon. Mark Martin, you're riding with him. He wants to grab a position.
Boy, Jeff Gordon's car, just when he run into Earnhardt, it was like something went wrong to the car because he is not able to keep the speed that he had before that impact.
Hit him pretty good.
Just eating it up here at Rockingham. Hope you're enjoying it on CNN Motors, the other network. We're so happy to be able to do that.
You have Bodine and 2 team cars there. Rusty Wallace in second, Jeremy Mayfield in third right now. These 2 cars run this way at Daytona. They have to feel good about their team effort this year. Everybody else
His
zoom off that corner.
112th career start in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. And Jeremy Mayfield is showing the way.
Kind of reminiscent of the move Todd Bodine made here at a Busch Grand National race a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
down on
the
the
72
bottom
car.
Yeah, 3 wide. He took the win doing that.
That was a super one. You might remember you saw it here on TNN Motorsports when Todd was driving the Detroit gasket car and he won by, inches over Mike Wallace, and I guess Larry Pearson was in that finish too.
Yep.
What a spectacular run that was.
You know, Cranifus had a great team here, and then with the Penske influence on this, and they really do. They share every note. If Rusty Wallace has something that's great, they do everything back and forth there. And it's really given Jeremy Mayfield an opportunity that most race car drivers would never have.
His career best finish came a week ago in the Daytona final for second place. Jeff Bodine outside, Jeff Gordon inside. Rusty Wallace watching and give it to Gordon. Second spot, changing hands right there. Bodine is now third. Wallace stays in fourth. Mark Martin is in fifth. Meanwhile, Jeremy Mayfield.
They just need a caution plate to catch up. They got fast race cars, but they're way over a half a lap behind.
Here comes Jeff Gordon now into the picture.
Eli, you're exactly right. He's as fast as he was just before that caution right now. He is running Jeremy Mayfield down. He's picked up some 10 car lengths in the past 2 laps.
And you got to wonder if Mayfield has hurt his tires in this effort to get by Dale Earnhardt. Lap after lap, Mayfield has tried to get by him on the bottom side, and Earnhardt's held him off. And meanwhile, here's Gordon closed in. He was just cooling it back there.
Remember we heard from the guys downstairs that Ray Evernham had said, well, let those tires cool.
You know, I hit on that. Once you burn those tires, it takes 2 or 3, 4 laps to get them back to the same temperature as the cars you're racing with.
That's the lead battle. Not Earnhardt in the 3. He's in 15th on the tail end of the lead lap. But Jeremy Mayfield, former Rookie of the Year in the ARCA Bondo Marhide Series, former go-kart racer, former fabricator, late model stock car driver at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. There's Ray Evernham watching atop the War Wagon.
Oh, this is getting interesting now. We had one more.
I found it interesting for the last 20 laps.
Behind him for third and fourth, and here's the lead. Here goes Gordon. He had the lead for 10 laps, lost it, gets it right back now. Jeff Gordon is again leading here in Rockingham with 67 laps to go.
Boy, this Chevrolet, they can't complain about downforce on this particular Chevrolet because it's getting the job done right now. But he still has one obstacle right in front of him. You see that 3 car. He tried him a while ago, bumped him in the back, and really had to wait about 8 or 10 laps to recover.
Earnhardt still using that higher line, though.
All those jobs you had talked about for Jeremy Mayfield Mayfield. Let's add one more. Budding Winston Cup star.
Yeah.
This guy, at the rate he is going, is going to be big in 98.
And they don't make him any nicer.
No,
than Jeremy Mayfield.
He's a great guy. He really is. Everybody likes him. Easy going.
I'm just so happy to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here comes Gordon with a good run this time. He should come off the corner side by side with Earnhardt.
To the stripe.
Earnhardt trying to prevent himself from going a lap down. Gordon, your race leader.
Ooh. Earnhardt's in 15th.
Well, everybody's taking a shot at Earnhardt. So far, nobody can get it.
You see where Earnhardt goes in the corner there on the high side of the racetrack, using every bit of this bank that he can. Gordon's pinned down to the bottom side of the racetrack. It's very, very hard to pick up the throttle on the inside there and not get into the car on the outside.
Again, 24 Gordon, 12 Mayfield battling for the lead. Earnhardt in the 3, just trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap at 15. 63 laps to go. One thing that's also happening now is Gordon, by just a bit, begins to pull away from Jeremy Mayfield. The leader, Jeff Gordon, through all of this, he has a lead now of better than 3 seconds. 3 8/10 seconds now is Gordon's lead on Rusty Wallace. Jeff Bodine is 3rd. Jeremy Mayfield 4th. Jimmy Spencer is 5th. Bill Elliott is 6th. Let's take you back and show you what now 4 seconds looks like from the Duralube overhead camera. Watch Gordon right there. And now you're looking for the blue and white car of Rusty Wallace. And there's Rusty beginning to work his way down the back straightaway. That is 4.064 seconds here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
We're talking about a reversal of fortunes. Consider what has happened to Gordon at Daytona. The shift problem, the restart problem in the shootout first, then the loss in the 125 when they pitted, and then in the Daytona 500 they lost a motor, finished 15th in that race, and now they're leading. How many reversals of fortune since last week?
Remarkable. And here comes Jeff Gordon also. Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip will pit.
Very quick.
Gordon gets his marks. This will be the final pit stop for Jeff Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors. A 4-tire pit stop. Jeff said the car was a little bit loose. He thinks he wore out the right rear, battling the man in black, Dale Earnhardt. Now let's go back up the road to Steve Burns.
Jeff Gordon is the race leader. He has led 5 times today. Most recently here, taking the lead at lap 357. For Bobby Hamilton. Here comes Gordon right back for the lead.
A lot of traffic there, though. Whichever lane moves, it's going to be the lane to be in.
You got to go fast, but you have to have patience, too. You start running too hard here, and you get in the back of somebody and create your own problems.
And you need to save those tires for the end of the race. If there's no caution flags, these are the tires that they'll have to finish on.
Now, remember, the 40 car is a lap down right there, the Coors Light machine for Sterling Marlin. John Andretti in the 43, the STP machine, also a lap down.
This is a lot of
Gordon by inches.
A lot of traffic here.
And what this is doing, when they're running side by side like that, you can see Bodine and so many others moving in for the fight.
That's for the lead. Gordon wants it back, grabs it on the low side of the racetrack, and Rusty Wallace just gets in line ahead of Jeff Bodine.
Oh, trouble!
Trouble. Ernie Irvin.
Hart's car got a pretty good whack there coming off turn 2.
Terry Labonte gets his lap back. Hamilton gets his lap back. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. What happened here, fellas? Let's watch. Where does it start? Well, there it is. Ernie Irvin was high with Steve Park. Waltrip got by.
Sterling Marlin also was very, very cautious through there. Made it through.
On the lead lap, Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Rusty Wallace runs in 2nd. Jeff Bodine 3rd. Mark Martin 4th. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer is 5th.
The one advantage right now that the 24 car has over the entire field is he has open racetrack to run. The rest of them are having to contend with heavy traffic back in the pack. So Gordon right now is running the racetrack. Everybody else is running competition.
He's a two-time winner here. Won this race last spring. Rusty.
You were talking about Jeff Gordon. If he can win this race, he would join Rusty Wallace, Kyle Petty, and Richard Petty as winners of consecutive Goodwrench races here at Rockingham.
Looking awful good right now.
Lap 378, just 15 to go.
What a job his crew has done today of turning a car that wasn't fast into the leader. Seemed like every time Gordon went on pit road, every time he had a chance to have that crew lay their hands on it, it just got faster and faster.
Ray Evernham looks on. Crew chief, coach, best friend of Jeff Gordon.
A pretty darn good crew chief.
Gordon's lead is 0.8 of a second on Rusty Wallace.
It's on the high side of the racetrack there.
Ray Evernham talking to Walt Green, the NASCAR official there in the background, trying to point something out. What he's pointing out is that my guy's about a second and a third ahead of everybody else.
I know what the concern is right now. Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 car is just about 15 car lengths ahead of Jeff Gordon. Rusty Wallace in second is just behind him.
Interesting. Again, they're corporate teammates. Three laps to go. Matt, what was Ray Evernham concerned about?
Eli, he was concerned about the 12 car, not that the 12 car might intentionally block the 24, but he just wanted to relay to Walt Green if he could talk to the crew chief of the 12, Paul Andrews, and say, hey, look, we're coming. We'd appreciate some consideration.
And clearly, Jeremy Mayfield has let them go right by. Plenty of room between them all.
But that's heads up. I mean, Jeremy Mayfield's class act. He would never do anything like that, but it's smart of Ray Evernham to let them know he's on his way.
Ray Evernham leaves no detail unattended.
They're coming to the white flag. Jimmy Howell has it in hand. The white is in the air. One more lap around. 1 mile now remaining for Jeff Gordon. He started fourth. This will be his third Rockingham win and his 30th career victory. Of those 30 victories, 22 have been on super speedways. And he has now won 28 of the last 100 Winston Cup races. Jeff Gordon wins at Rockingham. Unofficially, Gordon, Wallace, Martin, Spencer, Jeff Bodine, Phil Elliott, Jarrett, Labonte, and Craven in that order. High fives for the Rainbow Warriors. And can you imagine one guy winning 28 of the last 100 races? Matt Yoakum, that's remarkable.
Boy, what a big day for the Rainbow Warriors, or patented day for the Rainbow Warriors. Battle all day, never give up, never refuse to lose. These guys, boy, what a great win. You got to give a call to Michael Landis, too, the new spotter for the Rainbow Warriors. He took over today for Dave Tapman. What a big day for these guys. Ray Evernham, these guys never gave up. A patented day for the Rainbow Warriors, Ray.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome day. You know, I want to thank God first because he walked with us today, and, you know, just unbelievable. I don't know how better to say to refuse to lose than what these guys did today. It was awesome day, and I am so proud to be part of this team. You can't believe it.
Well, it's hard to top those. An awesome day. Sentiments from Ray Evernham.
When we come back, we will head to Victory Lane along with the Rainbow Warriors. Jeff Gordon wins at Rockingham. Fords finish in the next 6 positions, but there is one happy guy, Glenn Jarrett.
And Jeff Gordon clowns out. He's going to get a kiss from Brooke first. And as usual, I'm not.
Where's my crew chief? I want to give him a hug.
He's coming. He's coming. We've talked to him. Now, you told me sitting there, Jeff, while we were waiting to get out, that you couldn't believe it. Why not?
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, I guess because we fought the car so much in the early stages of the race. Man, I was just trying to stay on the lead lap for most of the race, and to be here in Victory Lane, this is unbelievable. I want to thank God. I mean, he certainly was blessing me. Every time I got down and thought, you know, this day is going to be a disaster, you know, he always came to me and said, don't worry, you know, it'll happen. And you know, got to thank DuPont Automotive Fishes Chevrolet, man. This Chevrolet was tough on those 4 Tauruses today, and we're pretty proud of it. And got to thank Pepsi and Quaker State. It was an awesome day for the DuPont Chevrolet, and all the Rainbow Warriors did an incredible job in the pits.
Well, congratulations again. Great day for the 2nd year in a row. Jeff Gordon in victory lane for this race. Here's Steve Burns.
And with
Hey, I tell you what, that 24 bunch, they held back all weekend and stepped on the gas when they needed to go, and they still got it, I tell you. They proved that today. They won that race and let the Fords lead off, let the new Taurus lead all the laps, and they stepped on the gas when it counted.
Well, the Tauruses made a good showing today. Glenn Jarrett.
And we're back in victory lane, Matt, with winning crew chief Ray Evernham. We're going to present, man, how many of those you got? He's got a new house, folks, and one whole wall is paneled with these Miller Lite Pit Crew Awards from Miller Lite. Congratulations from TNN and from Miller Lite. You guys did a heck of a job in the pits today, Ray.
Well, thanks. Actually, we got a wall at the shop because this is really all for all the guys, and they deserved it today. This is it's been an awesome win. I got to tell you, you know, halfway through the race, I'd have said no way. We'd have been happy with a top 10, then maybe a top 5, but finally hit a combination. And like I said, you know, these guys really live, refuse to lose, and Jeff Gordon is an awesome race driver, and he hung with us all day.
No question about that. The team did him the favor too.
Didn't win here today. Ward Burton, the highest finishing Pontiac, comes home in 11. Mark Martin led the most laps today in finishing 3rd. He came home with 116 lap on. We move aside here on TNN Motorsports. Big win today for Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace 2nd, and Mark Martin, Jimmy Spencer, and Jeff Bodine, your top 5. A big thank you to the guys who patrolled pit road today. Dale Jarrett, his brother Glenn Jarrett, doing all the running up and down the pit lane, along with Steve Burns and Matt Yoakum, Buddy Baker, Dick Bergman alongside. I'm Eli Gold. Thanks for joining us here on TNN Motorsports as the Rainbow Warriors are back in victory lane. So long, everyone.